doing out there? Alright, alright. Thank you for joining me this evening. How y'all feel? Cause I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Yeah, hands in the sky like AWE. Some call me awesome, some call me busy. Hundreds call me often. Gator on my shirt, what did it look awesome? Jesus Christ, I'm good, please don't cross them. How rude. Stephanie Tanner, you don't gotta watch me, but please watch your manners. And I be getting green so mean, Bruce Banner. Give the flow and presence, man, I'm the new Santa. And I'm saying Kansas where I'm staying, where niggas be bang banging like pops on the Wayans. And even through the hating and walls they thought I'd stay in. Who you playing? I done went Super Saiyan, this that, off the glass, off the floor, off the board jam. We in the building, you wishing you had the floor plans. You just a doorman, doorman. Damn, I wish I had more hands. Now tell me what got two thumbs and knows how to spit rhymes. Two thumbs up, you gon' point them at this guy. Al Edison couldn't be this fly, so ask how I feel, and you know I reply like I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Hands in the sky like
history in the making, ain't you feeling it? Thief flow, they say I'm on some show stealing shit. My solo discography, I'm building it. Now every time you hit the space bar, I'm killing it. Yeah, I'm so fucking awesome. 200,000 was paid to outfloss them. They don't wanna follow my lead, I gotta force them. To keep the competition in line, you gotta torch them. Fire engine red, in that drop head. Haters drop dead when I'm in that bobsled. Cover girl on my side as she bobs head, saying yes to my denim as she nods head. XV from the middle of the map, I'm coming to you live from the middle of the trap. Colors in the chain like Skittles out the pack. The hustler teaming with the gentleman of rap.
Let's tell me what got two thumbs and knows how to spit rhymes. Two thumbs up, you gon' point them at this guy. Al Edison couldn't be this fly, so ask how I feel, and you know I reply like I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Hands in the sky like I'm awesome. Every time I lay it down, I think that I kill him. Play possum. Death proof ride with Rosario Dawson. Tell them open wide when they see how I'm flossing. Cooler than a peppermint, Wayne's World excellent. Party on guards, swing. Work ethic harder than a Mexican. That's why I can walk up into any restaurant and close the whole thing. See, even G couldn't F with it. Semicolon dash parentheses, text messaging. That's a side smiley face, cause I'ma make the best of it. I assume you should make room for the elephant. Boom. Where I come from is irrelevant, cause my glory is all that I revel in. And my story begins where most levels end. So all I really gotta tell them is, now tell me what got two thumbs and knows how to spit rhymes. Two thumbs up, you gon' point them at this guy. Al Edison couldn't be this fly, so ask how I feel, and you know I reply like I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Hands in the sky like I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Hands in the sky like
called me late last night, say she loved me so. Didn't matter anymore. I say she never cared and that she never will. Do it all again, I guess I'll have to wait until then. If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more. And if I'm drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say I think I'll have myself a beer. Ooh. mind. Well, I should have known it wouldn't be alright, but I can't live without her, so I won't even try. If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more. If you're drinking, well, you know that you're my friend, and I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer. Someday I'll think of what to say. Maybe next time I'll remember what you do. She looks like heaven. Maybe this is hell. She said she'd do it all again. She promised not to tell. If I get drunk, well, I'll pass out on the floor now, baby. You won't bother me no more. She said, it's okay, boy, 'cause you know we'll be good friends, and I'll say, I think I'll have myself a beer. I think I'll have myself a whoa, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello.
What's going on?
We're back for Jobbers and Jabbers round 3. The Last
We made
Jedi or some shit.
Yeah, we made it to episode 3. They haven't taken us off of YouTube yet.
No. It's almost like they're not paying attention or don't care.
It's almost like that. We know that we're more important than they think we are.
Yeah. As long as we can sell to ourselves that we're important. That's all that matters.
That's it.
All right. It's a great day for America on this beautiful October day. By the way, folks, if you are interested in knowing what those songs were, I will provide the playlist at the end of the stream. I think those were excellent music selections, I have to say.
Seems like the chat agrees too. Fuckwad said that he threw a muscle in his back during the last song, and Tater Snake said that shit's getting him pumped while he's playing Wii Sports.
He's playing Wii Sports. Wow. Aren't you current, Tater? Good for you. But a little confused, though. How can you play Wii Sports in a double-wide trailer? I mean, I'm surprised there's enough room.
Well, I don't know. I guess you'd have to move the couch, though.
A couch. Ha! That's funny. Oh, Stabbers with the shade. We're not even 12 minutes into the show and already. The music was alright. 6 out of 10. Jesus. Can't stand
Yeah,
this
she was sitting
negativity.
right behind me the entire time, bouncing in her chair, so she's lying.
Oh, we have an eyewitness account. Bam roasted, as they say. Tater State says, I make it work. Don't judge me. Well, I added that. That was an editorial. So, this week, I don't know about you, Jabbers, but I didn't hear about a lot going on. It seemed like a pretty low energy, low drama week. Not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it was pretty quiet. There didn't seem to be anything going on that was making people really angry this week, which is new.
Yeah, we were really we were sitting here amongst ourselves, scratching our heads, really trying to activate our almonds and come up with something to talk about. But there really wasn't that big story to cover to really really start the show with a bang. Well, what I did find, or I should say, what I was sent, was this interesting little picture. I'm going to switch over to there, and we're going to show this. Now, here's a tweet by a user by the name of WP at Wayward Patience, replying to an NPR tweet saying, "I'm not going to kill myself, not being dramatic. If Kavanaugh becomes a Supreme Court judge, all hope for this country is lost, and I would rather be dead. I will kill myself if he gets confirmed, and the blood will be on his hands of every person who voted yes." Well,
Wow. Well, I mean, I sure hope for their sake that that Kavanaugh isn't confirmed.
that would be sad. Be awfully dire if that came to fruition.
I mean, it would be tragic. I mean, they would have to like delete their entire Twitter account, right?
Yeah, they'd have to disappear from the internet, never to be heard from again. So, yeah, fuck what? That is a good point, but at the same point, we must respect this person's feelings, their humanity, and we will not laugh at the fact that a user by the name of Who Is Alex Here replied with, "Live stream it."
I mean, I'd super
No.
chat.
No, we can't laugh. No, it's not funny. Suicide is nothing to laugh at, even if it's absurdly stupid, the reason.
I can laugh.
Oh, well, good. We have the soulless Jabbers with us.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Also, before I forget, want to mention thank you, Chorgan Scormhammer, for the subscription. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jorgen.
But this tweet, well, it hasn't aged well. In fact, it literally aged poorly in about 6-7 hours. Because here's the scoop, folks. He did get confirmed. Oh no. Looking for that live stream.
That's lad. That's unfortunate.
That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Nobody could have seen this coming at all.
Yeah. But yes, the news of the day and the news of the past weeks has been Mr. Kavanaugh. Just a simple man with simple tastes in beer, and more beer. He likes beer, I'm told.
Yeah, and beer.
Was just trying to become a Supreme Court justice, no biggie. Not a real important position. I don't know what anyone's getting all excited about. But yeah, he got confirmed today. So congratulations to him, I guess. Although he apparently cost that one Twitter user's life, or in this case, their Twitter account, because that account no longer exists. Don't know why.
I mean, how could the Senate be so mean as to just end that person's life like that?
Jesus, they're like Sam Hyde. They have to be stopped.
Yeah, they must be stopped. Somebody needs to hold them accountable.
Yeah, beat that meme to death. So, from the HuffPost, the Senate confirms Brett Kavanaugh to Supreme Court, rejects the Me Too movement. The vote was about something much bigger than judicial philosophy. It was about whether women can be believed. Oh, man. Really?
Yeah. So, if there's any women in the chat, fuck y'all.
Yep, it's over.
We don't believe you.
It's over. Due process is alive and well, but listen and believe. Sorry.
Ariana in the chat says, Broski will be here for 20 minutes and then go play WoW. Well, I don't believe you, Ariana. I think you'll be here for 15 minutes.
If that.
Yeah.
Well,
because
I mean,
women can't be believed.
Oh, I wasn't even going for that angle, but good for you. But no, it's not funny. It's not funny. This listen, believe shit. It must be taken seriously. Fuckwad says, oh, and Dr. Ford has decided not to pursue further charges, almost like it never really happened. Really activates those almonds. So, it was infuriating and gut-wrenching process, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky, pushed ahead anyway and handed Republicans another Supreme Court seat. Washington. The Senate confirmed Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court on Saturday, ending an ugly, painful, weeks-long Senate fight over whether women's sexual misconduct allegations against him were credible and mattered. Whether they matter or not.
They weren't.
Anyway, the first word makes sense, the second one doesn't. Kavanaugh was narrowly confirmed 50-48. Every Republican but one, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, can she see Russia from her house, voted for him. Every Democrat but one, Senator Joe Manchin, West Virginia, voted against him. The vote would have been 51-49, but one guy wasn't there, so somebody voted present. Blah, blah, blah. Yells periodically erupted in the Senate from anti-Kavanaugh protesters during the process. Shame on you! Shame on you! Did they have a bell? I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well sell it. At least one protester could be heard chanting as they were removed from the gallery. Democrats had never been particularly happy with Kavanaugh, who was a judge on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. No, fuck that. Fuck his record. Fuck his previous accomplishments. He's a scumbag.
Yeah, well, or, whatever word they can use to convince other people that he shouldn't be in the Senate or shouldn't be in the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Forget your qualifications. Listen and believe. Millions of people watched as Ford testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee, describing a 1982 party where a drunk Kavanaugh and his friend, Mark Judge, not to be confused with the Beavis and Butthead creator, allegedly pushed her into a room, pinned her down, groped her, and covered her mouth when she tried to scream. Her testimony took place as two more women came forward with sexual misconduct allegations against him. Kavanaugh denied all the allegations. I love this paragraph, alternating between crying, yelling, and interrupting Senate committee members as they pressed him on Ford's story. His unhinged behavior. I like, too, how all of this is underlined, because citations needed.
It's almost like they underlined the bullshit in their article.
Ah, Taco Stanzia has provided the shame bell in the chat. Good on you, sir. Perhaps I can repair relations with the Taco State that I temporarily burned on Blackout Stream earlier. But anyway, raised a fresh round of questions about whether he had the temperament to be a Supreme Court justice, because the writers of this article are experts in temperament for a justice. Anyway, he blamed his rocky confirmation process on politics. He sneered at female senators on the committee. He repeatedly lied under oath about little and big things. Yet none of that was enough to sway Republicans to oppose Kavanaugh. Yeah. What's great is that this article makes references to things that I haven't even heard of until now. So some argued that Ford's contemporaries couldn't corroborate her story, despite Ford securing affidavits from 4 people who said she previously told them about Kavanaugh's alleged attack. I must have missed this. So she's claiming she's told people before, and that she was sure it was Kavanaugh, or that something happened?
Well, I mean, I'm not exactly up on my legal definitions, but receiving an affidavit doesn't mean that they corroborate the story. It just means that they've given a written statement if I'm correct.
Okay.
So, I mean, her securing the affidavits wouldn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuckwad brings up another thing that I learned recently, too, is he was also part of the team that investigated Bill Clinton before his impeachment. Yeah, so, because we all know that people who go against her interact heavily with the Clinton campaign and the Clinton Foundation and the Clintons in general, their lives go well.
Yeah, it's almost like, they targeted him.
Yeah. His name is Seth Rich.
Well, it was.
Yeah. Was. His name was Robert Paulson. Anyway. None of them could answer the question at the heart of their decision to support Kavanaugh, whether they believe Ford is lying or whether they believe she is telling the truth, but her allegations don't matter. Well, fuck off. That should have just ended. Whether they believe Ford is lying or whether they believe she is telling the truth. Cut. But what is this? Her allegations don't matter for judging the character of a nominee to a lifeline. He either did it or he didn't. Either she's telling the truth or she's full of shit.
Well, so I think what they're getting at there is they want to say that his reaction to the allegations was telling of his character. But, I mean, the reality is all it tells you is that after spending a week of attacking a guy near constantly, that he's just going to be pissed off. That's just a reaction most every man is going to have. So, I mean, the fact that he wasn't more visceral, in his testimony the second time around, it was surprising enough to me.
Yeah. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. This is great. Kavanaugh's confirmation flies in the face of the cultural and political Me Too movement, which has empowered women in all walks of life to speak out about sexual assault and harassment, especially by men in positions of power. The movement began partly. Yeah, the movement began partly in response to the election of President Donald Trump, who has bragged on tape about sexual assault and being publicly accused of assault or misconduct by more than 20 women. He said, "They let you. They let you." God damn it.
Yeah, I didn't recall him actually naming a name or giving. Well, never mind. You don't have to name anything specific about an incident for it to happen in liberal minds. So
I don't understand. What part of "they let you" isn't clear? He didn't say, "I did it." He said, "They let me." Not, "she told me no, but then I kept going and all of a sudden it was yes." No. It's voluntary. I mean, isn't that what we're shooting for in our third wave feminism paradise? Is that women get to choose? Women have agency? Or only agency when it's convenient and not when it's inconvenient?
Well, they don't have a consistent definition of what they're looking for, so it would be impossible for anybody to tell you.
Yeah. By the way, hello Ortiz. Thank you for stopping by. Ortiz805 in the chat. Yeah, I just love this that it flies in the face. It's just, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's been credible Me Too, and great. But this has not been credible, at least not from what I'm aware of. And obviously the FBI didn't think it was credible. The investigation didn't think it was credible initially when he was going through the process of being voted on. So I think we're done here. I think this horse has been beaten.
Well, and thank goodness, because I just got tired of it.
Yeah, it was getting old. Let me see here. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh, yeah. Just as a side note, this Senator Collins, who I believe was one of the last four who had to decide. I think she's a Republican from Maine, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I mean, I appreciate that she voted yes and wasn't able to be swayed by this, basically uncorroborated nonsense. But that speech she gave in the Senate, oh my God, I wanted to off myself. They milked the shit out of this.
So I haven't seen the speech.
I saw it when it happened, and I couldn't. It was just boring as hell, and it was just grandstanding and platitude. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just find myself, whenever I watch these kind of things, just thinking, oh my God, this is just theater. 95% of this crap doesn't need to happen. Yeah, if you want to make a speech, fine. You want to state your case, fine. But what the hell? You need 30 minutes to basically say, yes, I'm voting for him. Or no, I'm not. I don't know. It irritated me.
So this is the problem. One of the problems that I have with the Republican politicians is that, too often what they try and do is they try and split the baby somehow. They say, well, I'm going to vote for Kavanaugh, but here's this long-winded speech, about how important the Me Too movement is, and I'm just gleaning that from the article, right?
Yeah.
The problem with that is that what you're doing, whether they realize it or not, what you're doing is you're confirming that voting for Kavanaugh is voting against the Me Too movement. You're essentially solidifying that narrative. Instead, you should just ignore the narrative. Vote for him. Don't apologize for voting for him. And if anybody asks you why you voted for him, you say because that's what my heart told me to do, and then just move on. You don't owe anybody an explanation for it, especially not some liberal journalist who's just trying to make you look bad anyway. Just ignore them.
Yep. So, Kavanaugh confirmed, latest Supreme Court justice, and thank God the whole charade is over and we can move on to more ridiculous stuff, such as our next story. Oh, real quick, I'm going to read Broski. People need to go outside and live their lives. Being so involved in other people's lives is so sad. Yeah, welcome to the internet. I mean, Jesus. I I don't know about you jabbers, but, you know, traipsing around in these, you know, quote unquote internet circles, if you will, it's just depressing to me sometimes how much people are just dedicated and involved, and this stuff matters, and he said, she said, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, guys, go outside.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've told more than one person, you know, that I really honestly don't care about most of this stuff because I have a career, I have a family to think about. I don't really have time for a lot of the stuff that goes on the internet. You know, I mean, I'll speak up for certain people who I know really well and stuff. But you know, this business of, you know, defending, you know, all of these people that I watch and stuff like that. Nah, it's not my place. They're all grown adults. They can defend themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it's just kind of like what you just said, where for some of them, this is it. This is what they do. This is what they spend their time doing. This is their thing. Whereas for us, this is just like a hobby. This is like going to darts once a week or shuffleboard or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I agree with the everyday man. Sad. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, for anybody that's overly concerned with what's going on with people on the internet, I feel kind of bad for you. Maybe reinvest that time into doing something more productive for yourself.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? And again, we'll get back on topic here in a second. We got a great article. But it reminds me a lot of the concept of fuck you money. I assume you've heard the term before?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of fuck you money.
Yeah. Broski says neither hosts were targeted by my comment. They both play well and Garth got the shit together. No, I didn't take it as that, Broski. I was just going off on a tangent about the idea of, like, connecting the outrage for this whole Kavanaugh thing to sort of the, you know, outrage and drama BS you see on the internet a lot, where it's just the same sort of underlying sense of you don't get out of the house much, do you? But to come back to what I was saying, shit, I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Fuck you money.
Fuck you money. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing where, you know, if you're at a job, you know, and you answer to somebody and you're out in the, you know, marketplace, so to speak, but you have fuck you money, the whole point is that at any point, if you're asked to do something you don't want to do, or some job you don't want to, how do I put this? Basically, if you're put in a position you don't want to be in, you can give the middle finger and say, fuck you, because you have the option to pull out. Whereas if you got a mortgage, credit card debt, etc., you're kind of ball and chained. You're stuck. And it's sort of similar in this case, where if you put all your eggs in, quote unquote, the internet basket, well, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but next up is something. Taco Stanzia says, how do we feel about Bridge? I have heard good things about Bridge. I have never played it.
I've tried to play it. I'm not very good at it. So.
All right. So, next on the agenda for the seventh time is this article came out, and this was both sad, hilarious. It ran the gamut, but we have an article from Quillette.com, a website I've never heard of, but not important. The story is the grievance study scandal. 5 academics respond. And no, this isn't academics, please respond. As far as I know, Trout and T wasn't involved. There's no Discord ops. This is pretty straightforward. So, I'll read the editor's note and then we can continue. Editor's note. For the past year, scholars James Lindsay, Helen Pluckrose, and Peter Boghossian have sent fake papers to various academic journals, which they describe as specializing in activism or, quote, grievance studies. Their stated mission has been to expose how easy it is to get, quote, absurdities and morally fashionable political ideas published as legitimate academic research, end quote. To date, their project has been successful. 7 papers have passed through peer review and have been published, including a 3,000-word excerpt of Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, rewritten in the language of intersexuality theory and published in a gender studies journal, Ophelia. This was just odd and hilarious. Like I said, it ran the gambit, but there's a few examples in here. Obviously, the Mein Kampf one is hilarious. What were some of the other ones, Jabbers?
Well, so if I remember correctly, they also had an article about how the dog park was tantamount to rape.
Yeah, the pervasive rape culture at the dog park. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they had quite a few of them that were actually. I mean, the fact that they got any of these through would by itself prove that all of this, postmodernist theory, courses and all this stuff are all bullshit. But the fact that they got 7 through, it's pretty impressive. The fact that of the 13 or so that they didn't get through, several of those are being looked at or were being looked at with promise, just tells you how bad the colleges have gotten at this point.
Yeah. But this article is basically just they asked a bunch of academics, scholars, to sort of respond to it. There's a video here that talks about it too. I don't want to play it because I think it's like 6-7 minutes long, but I will link to it in the chat if anybody wants to watch it. But yeah, there's just they talked to this guy who's a philosophy adjunct, I believe. But yeah, it just basically, it's just this postmodernism crap run amok, and all this did was expose that to the nth degree, where you're publishing articles about a rape culture at a dog park. You're just taking Mein Kampf word for word and editing it through the lens of intersectionality, and it's getting approved. And it's just, it's a sad indictment of not only the quality of academia at this point, but also the just complete, utter disregard for any sort of balance or bipartisanship. It is so slanted in one direction, and my Overton window and all that, but it's just it's depressing.
Well, see, what's funny is that for the last 2 years, okay, anybody on the right has been called a Nazi at least one time, right? At least once, okay.
It's a badge of honor.
Meanwhile, all of the people that are calling people Nazis are also publishing papers that are literal word for word copies of Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, with a twist, just through the lens of their intersectional bullshit. So remind me again who the Nazis actually are.
Well, yeah, that's the classic where they tell you you're fascist while acting like a bunch of fascists.
Right. Well, but I mean, that's the thing. They're not just acting like fascists. They're acting like Nazis. They're publishing Nazi propaganda, but they're calling us Nazis, which just makes me laugh. I mean, this is the ridiculousness of their argument. They can't be taken seriously at all. It was like there was a guy on Twitter a couple of weeks ago who, posted that all women should be believed. Right. And so a woman responded to him and said, and accused him of rape. And so his response was, oh, well, so everybody needs to block this person because she's falsely accusing me of rape. I mean, when your argument becomes that ridiculous, you cannot be taken seriously, and that's all that these 3 people have done. And from what I've understood, all 3 of them are liberals, which tells you that there are some liberals that apparently are not amongst the progressive wing of, nut jobs. But I mean, this progressive wing of nut jobs needs to be labeled for what it is, and they're all clowns.
Yeah, and it ties back, if what you're saying is the case, where these are confirmed, or I shouldn't say confirmed, I should say self-described liberals, then that tells you just how far the slant has gone, where they're like, wait a minute, we're left and this is ridiculous. This is absurd.
Right. I mean, they're amongst the Dave Rubin, Brett Weinstein left, which are, I mean, they're tolerable. I could have a conversation with them. I feel like I could have a beer with them. But the progressive wing of the Democrat Party, I couldn't talk to in the slightest.
No, you're not going to get anywhere.
No.
But yeah, so this was interesting to say the least. But yeah, it's just another nail in the coffin for me of higher education. I mean, it's been said for years at this point, but basically it's gotten to the point now more than ever that it's STEM or go home, and even that's debatable, especially with the availability of self-teaching on the internet.
Well, and I can't remember who it was on Twitter that posted, but somebody posted an image that showed the average number of women that were receiving a doctorate degree in different fields versus their male counterparts by the 100, right? So, you had a lot of fields where it was soft sciences or nursing or typical degree programs you would expect women to get degrees in, and they were in the numbers of 300 and 400 per 100 males, right? But then you look at STEM fields and they're at 30 per 100 males, 40 per 100 males. So it was just showing that that where women are getting their doctorates at, this is like I was discussing with on Late Night with Broski a couple nights ago. This is the result of postmodernism. This is what the postmodernism is trying to do. It's invading, all of these aspects of life, and this is the ridiculousness of it. A paper on the rape culture of a dog park is published. That's an academic paper. It was praised. That's just patently ridiculous. This is where our society is moving to. And this is also part of the reason why Donald Trump was elected.
Okay, I'm aware that the screen is dark. I'm trying to find... There was a comic strip I saw a long time ago, and I'm trying to find it. Where basically it's 3 panels. Yes, here it is. This is great. I'm going to put this up on screen. I don't know if anybody can see that, but basically what it shows, I'll describe it even though I put it on screen, is the first panel is 3 women standing next to a couple of booths. One that says STEM fields, sign up. The other says gender studies, sign up. The second panel is all 3 women walking up to the gender studies booth to sign up, and the STEM field guy sitting there scratching his head. And then the third panel is the STEM field guy shrugging, the gender studies booth lady with her with her arms crossed, and all 3 of the women holding up signs that say, "More women in STEM, science is sexist, STEM is boys club." And it ends with the gender disparity in STEM fields explained. And I can't really argue with that. Do you have any argument against that, Jeffers?
No, I don't, and I work in STEM.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
And that's the thing. I don't really care who my coworkers are. So I've always found it quite curious that more women don't go into STEM, but I also know that at the same time it's not because they're not allowed. It's not because there's somebody's throwing up roadblocks. It's just they just don't like the jobs.
Yeah, well, and also that concept that, it's a boys club. If you get in there, people are going to be, pinching your asses and saying, "Hey, sugar tits." Dude, no, I have yet to see that once. I don't know if it happens behind closed doors and I just don't see it. But the second thing is it's a job. So 2 things come out of that. 1, I'm busy. I don't got time to be pinching your ass. And 2, even if I was... or I did have time, I wouldn't, because I don't know if you have the same policy as me. Well, you may now because you're taken. But even when you were single, I don't know. I'm always of the philosophy you don't shit where you eat. There's no way in hell I'm going out with anybody at my job. No way. Maybe that's a dumb principle, but that's generally my approach, because that just tends to lead to just, office politics and various other issues. I don't know if you have an opinion on it.
Yeah, it creates a lot of, it can create a lot of problems. Yeah, well, the other aspect to this is that, you know, I mean, most of the people that are working in STEM are socially awkward nerds.
No.
You know, I mean, so, you know, I mean, sorry, but, you know, I mean, even if they wanted to sexually harass a girl, they couldn't, I mean, it would just come across as cute.
No. But, well, and another probably politically incorrect thing is, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'd say a fair majority of the women that are in STEM aren't exactly cover girls, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, no, not most of the time, no.
No. Every now and again, there's one where you're like, okay, good. She's got the full package. But most of the time, it's like, ooh. But again, that's a matter of preference. But I think from a potentially objective standpoint, most of them are the. But again, at the same point, it's that weird sort of balance. Where on the one hand, you're like, wow, she looks really good, but talking to her for 10 seconds, it's like, you know, I want to shoot myself. But you talk to somebody who's in STEM and you're like, oh, you seem like an intelligent, well-read person. That's how you got to this position. But my God, woman, get a haircut.
Yeah. Well, a Viable Ninja, by the way, you might have a problem here. A Viable Ninja says that the more you talk, the more he thinks you're a decent person, contrary to popular belief and despite what people say.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Viable Ninja. I appreciate that you're holding the mantle and passing the word that I'm a human being, a decent human being. I appreciate that because, as you've stated, no one else believes it. No one. You're it.
Comes as a shock to me.
All right, let me catch up on chat a little bit. Miss Stabber says, hashtag wage cucks. You are correct. Taco Sanya says, nothing wrong with working. Stabbers responds, not a damn thing. I think she meant wrong with working. I like money. Fuckwad says, don't dip your pen in the company ink. Same idea. Ortiz says, that's a great policy to have. Hey, man, smart. Chop Top Nada. Hey, hello, sir. I actually was talking to him on a doc stream last night in the god-awful late hours of the evening. But he seems like a reasonable dude, and he says, OTS just smart to keep work life and home life separate. Yeah, to put it mildly. Ortiz says that shit happens in the hospital a lot. I imagine it would, actually.
Well, especially if you're a doctor and you're working like 12 on stuff like that. Yeah, I can imagine that happens a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, John Doe still doesn't buy it. I sense a trap. Well,
yeah,
just
he's
remember,
a smart mark.
Yeah, I don't like him. He's got too much of that their brain cells. We're not going to be able to control him.
We'll just increase the signal.
Yeah, from our aluminum foil hats. Yep. We're going to go 1984 on his ass. Ortiz says, no, it's nurses. Huh. So amongst the nurses, they're yanking each other's chains. Apparently.
Okay.
I'll take a word for it. Oh, Stabber's calling me out. It is a trap. He's acting. All right. I'm the Admiral Akbar of the internet. There's an old meme. All right. Moving along. Now, if this wasn't all silly enough, now we get to the real silly, the hypersensitive, the hyper-focused absurdity. Girl, 8, pulls a 1,500-year-old sword from a lake in Sweden because, as you know, when I'm traipsing through the lakes, I'm expecting to stub my toe on 1,500-year-old pieces of weaponry. But yes, an 8-year-old found a pre-Viking era sword while swimming in a lake in Sweden during the summer. Saga Venecek, I think that's correct, Vanecek. Ugh.
Probably Vanacek.
Vanacek, you think? Yeah. Or it could be Vanasek, but I don't know. I'm trying to go for pronunciation.
I think it's going to be Czech. I think that's how you say Czech.
Goddamn Europeans. Found the relic in the Vidostern Lake while at her family's holiday home in Jönköping County. Jönköping?
We'll go with that.
All right, Jönköping. It is.
Must be nice to have a holiday home.
Yeah. Oh God. It's the damn 1%. They got to pay their fair share. How was that? Was that even close to Bernie? I don't know. I've never done a Bernie impression.
It was pretty close.
Oh, all right. Well, hold on. I got to lift my shoulders up and put my neck down and then flail my arms around a little bit. Glad everybody can see that, by the way, on a completely audio stream. The sword was initially reported to be 1,000 years old, but experts at the local museum now believe it may date to around 1,500 years ago. It's not every day that you step on a sword in the lake. Mikhail Nordstrom, I think I nailed that one, or Mikhail?
I don't know. You got it right. Mikhail Nordstrom.
Mikhail Nordstrom.
He's wrong, though. I step on swords all the time.
Oh, is that a WoW joke?
No, it is now, though.
Oh, all right. Glad I could help. The level of the water was extremely low at the time, owing to a drought, which is probably why Saga uncovered the ancient weapon. Huh! Would you look at that? A benefit from global warming. You're welcome.
There you go. You found a sword. Congratulations.
Yep. Now we can fight the sun. It felt something in the water, and it lifted it up. Then there was a handle, and I went to tell my dad that it looked like a sword, Saga told the broadcaster. Oh, Christ. Severge's television? Holy shit. Saga's father, Andy Vanacek, told the English language website The Local he initially thought his daughter had found an unusual stick or branch in the water. It was only after he asked a friend to take a closer look did he discover that it was likely to be an ancient relic. The local museum where the sword is now being kept said it was extremely well preserved. That's interesting because when you look at it, it doesn't look that well preserved, but again, if it's 1,500 years old, that's pretty good. The fact that it's not dust.
Yeah, exactly.
The local museum. Saga's discovery led the museum and local council to carry out further excavations at the site, finding a brooch from the 3rd century. The John Coping County Museum said that its investigation of the lake is unfinished and it could yet turn up more ancient items. So this was just kind of cool that this little girl just happened to stumble upon a 1,500-year-old sword. Thank you, Miss Stabbers, for the Monty Python reference.
Yeah, I was getting ready to quote her.
Reset the clock. Ortiz said, did she get paid? It did not mention it anywhere in this article that she got paid.
Probably not. They probably donated the sword to the museum.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I mean, I guess she could bring it up to the museum. They could say, oh, it's this. And then she could go, all right, what do you want for it? But it doesn't sound like that happened. Oh, you'd have kept it? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, John Doe. Now we see the violence inherent in the system. Help, help, I'm being repressed. I love that damn movie. There was a point in my life where I could probably do that entire movie verbatim off the top of my head.
Oh, for me, that would have probably been my senior year in high school.
Oh, when you could do the same? Do basically that whole movie?
Yeah, I could probably have done the whole movie senior year of high school. Not now. I haven't seen it in years, but
yeah, I'm a little rusty on my Python too. But yeah, so that was kind of a neat story. But now we get into the autism for sure, to the nth degree. So, starting with this explosive story, Michigan cheerleader accused of handing out pot brownies as bribe to win homecoming queen. Because, of course, when you want to become something, not on merit, hand out pot brownies. Wait, let me see. Suckers, what movie? Ortiz, that's Monty Python's The Holy Grail, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Monty Python's Holy Grail. Never mind.
Yeah, it's
Stabbers
Quest
took
for
care
the
of it.
Holy Grail.
Yeah. John Doe says Life of Brian was better. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of Life of Brian. I liked the song. I like Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. That's a great song, but beyond that, didn't really do anything for me. But yeah, so this chick was handing out brownies to get prom queen, or homecoming queen, whatever it was. Was it homecoming queen?
Homecoming queen. Not even prom queen.
Jesus.
Right. She's homecoming queen for pot brownies. Could you imagine what the price would have been to get prom? I mean, that would have been probably crack rocks.
Yeah. Cheerleader
She'd
at a
been handing out crack rock candy in order to become the prom queen.
Man. A cheerleader at a Michigan high school was looking for another form of, quote, higher education. Ah, I see what they did there. Clever stuff. When she handed out pop brownies in a bid to bribe students into voting for her for homecoming queen, police said. The 17-year-old girl was caught selling the marijuana-laced treats after Hartford high school officials received an anonymous tip through the app OK to Say, Fox 17 Michigan reported. Oh, God. By the way, I want to acknowledge Viable Ninja. Sweden will probably auction the sword off to pay for more migrants to come over. And you are not wrong. But Ninja, you gotta be fair and balanced, man. Those rape gangs, not true. They're a right-wing conspiracy theory to make an excuse to build a wall.
Hashtag build the wall anyway.
Yeah. Hashtag needed. All right. The girl, who has not been identified, distributed the brownies in exchange for support at the next homecoming dance, officials said. Now, again, I want to know, this needs to be investigated. Did it stop at pop brownies? Or did anybody get the gumption to be like, no, I don't want pop brownies, but I think you know what I want? And did she do it?
So what are you thinking, like a handy for a vote?
Yeah, but see, at the same time, though, these never work because you're taking their word for it. I mean, because it's not an immediate exchange, you know, she could give some poor sap a handy, and then he doesn't vote for her. He's just like, oh, got a free handy out of it.
I could see that. Her going to the principal saying, I gave this guy a handy to vote for me, and he didn't vote for me.
Believe me. Me too. Oh, God. I could just imagine that turning into a story where she wants to be prom queen, or, I'm sorry, homecoming queen, jerks a guy off, then when he tells the principal, she goes, no, he raped me. Jesus.
Tater Snake in the chat said, build a wall out of 1,500-year-old swords.
That's
not a very strong wall, Tater.
That doesn't seem like a very structurally sound wall. I mean, again, I'm a fake engineer, but even I don't think that would work. Let me see. I like walls. They keep my house from falling down. That is true. That I can't argue with that.
You cannot argue with that logic.
Nope, that is sound. Chop Top Nada with a hashtag nuke the third world. Oof. All right. I like where this is headed.
Who's going to play soccer?
That's clean included. No one, because no one of value cares. There's my bigoted American opinion. My ignorant, footy-hating opinion. All right. I'm just salty because the United States never wins, because it's the only sport we don't care about. They said some brownies were put in the football team's homecoming week goodie bags. Wait, so they weren't aware? Ooh. That could be an issue. But anyway, let's read on. The principal mentioned they were getting some tips in about some possible brownies that may have been laced with marijuana oil. Hartford police officer Michael Prince told Fox 17. Authorities recovered only 3 of the 12 brownies. They said the rest may have been consumed. The school is taking this very seriously, Prince said. They are doing their own investigation, and they're just starting to turn over some of the statements from the students possibly involved or witnesses. The girl accused of handing out the drug-laced desserts is, quote, out of state with her mother for a family emergency. Wow. Isn't that convenient?
I know. Amazing that happens.
Yep. Well, from a micro perspective, yes, this is humorous. The fact that she would go to this lengths to be homecoming queen, and then B, what she was willing to do for it. But the more macro issue is, fundamentally, I don't care. This idea of, oh my God, she was handing out pop brownies. Like, yeah, so what? I don't know. I just find myself not caring. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a lulbertarian, but I don't know.
Well, and so they buried the lead. The story here really is that she went to these great lengths just for the homecoming queen. It wasn't even like, student council president or, prom queen. It was just homecoming queen. Who cares? I get to be on the float. Who cares?
All right. Miss Stabbers says, Atlanta United bitches. Chop Top Nada says, fuck soccer, you fairy. John Doe says they went back to Colorado. Yeah, probably. Where it's legal.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, in other news, the vending machine mysteriously ran out of flaming hot Cheetos. Well, not mysteriously. I think we can activate our almonds and
Yeah, we solved that mystery.
yeah, I think that one's pretty easy. Viable Ninja says Kamala Harris pushed pot on America. Did she? Good for her, I guess.
Yeah. I guess if that's one good thing that she's done.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I can maybe understand some of the arguments that we don't want people walking the streets on crystal meth, but I think that kind of happens anyway, and whether it's legal or not, but I don't know. I think we should just be done with the whole marijuana thing.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah. I might be mildly down for, taxation and regulation, but even that might be too much for me. But that would be better than what we're doing now where, oh God, what was the stat? It was something absurd. It was like a large percentage of the people in our current jails or prisons, most of them are drug related and for shit like this.
Well, so those statistics are a little misleading. And the reason they're misleading is because oftentimes what prosecutors like to do is they like to stack charges. So, you'll have somebody that's arrested for, aggravated assault. And when they're arrested, they'll have drugs on them. So they'll stack the charges on top of each other. And so while they may not get arrested or they may not get imprisoned for the assault, they may get imprisoned for the drug charge. So most of the people in that study that they cite are just in jail for drug crimes. Most of them are violent offenders. They just also got arrested for pot.
Ah, so it's an issue of plea bargains, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so they
Yeah,
get charged with... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, I'm in favor of legalizing pot, but I also am very weary of those statistics because they're misleading.
Okay, fair enough. But that at least makes sense to me, that it's an issue of, hey, you got charged with 5 things. Okay, you'll take a plea deal? Good, you only got charged with 1 thing. It just happened to be possession or something like that, so...
Right, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so we got people giving out pot brownies to become homecoming queen. I suppose it's better than Tide Pods.
Wait for prom to come around.
Yeah, that's got to be a hell of a story. Watch her win anyway. I would laugh.
Well, she's definitely going to win now.
She wins from jail. Yeah. All right. Next on the spectrum, if you will, we've got The Guardian, a solid news organization, I have to say. Only the finest here on Jobbers and Jabbers. Was I dropped from a drag queen job for being a woman? Well, I just don't know. But these are the important topics that we like to cover here. So apparently, drag is a play on gender constructs, norms, and stereotypes. Women have just as much right to play with that as men. Look at this fucking picture. Good God. Look at the size of that bow. Good Lord. Just, see, again, maybe this is the libertarian in me, but I'm cool if you want to walk around dressed like that. I'll even go so far as if you ask politely and I respect you, I'll call you Sally when you're a dude or whatever. But it gets to a point where I'm like, dude, keep it to yourself. Don't flaunt it in my face. Don't shove it down my throat. Just do your thing and shut up.
Well, I mean, you realize that she's actually a she, right?
Yeah. No, I got that. All I'm getting at is in sort of these, what am I trying to say? In this context, this general sense of, I want to dress up like, a 5-year-old child and I'm, a 40-year-old middle-aged man, or, drag, or whatever you want to do. I'm typically pretty accommodating, don't care, laissez-faire. But some of this shit, I just find myself scratching my head, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to me. I don't really have as much problem with drag because I see it as more of a performance art. And so, I kind of understand it more than I do so a lot of other things. I don't really understand transgenderism all that well. I don't really understand half of the stuff that comes out of progressive colleges. But drag I actually do kind of understand because it's more of a performance art than it is anything overtly sexual.
Yeah. But basically the story goes that this individual was approached by a social media company, basically Virgin Mobile, I believe is what it was, because it says Virgin, but the only Virgin I'm aware of. Oh, Virgin Atlantic. Well, is that the same umbrella? Anyway, she was asked for measurements and various other information to potentially be a model in a social media campaign for the company, and after replying was then told, no, we don't want you, actually. So here I'll read real quick. I was asked for my measurements for costumes, and they asked to see a photograph of me without my drag makeup. I sent that over, and within an hour, I had an email back saying, unfortunately, they were going to have to drop me. What had I done differently in the space of an email other than send a photo of myself? In a phone call, it was told it was because I was a woman. Virgin Atlantic says that McFadden, was not rejected because she is female, but the final choices were based on aesthetics, ethnicity, height, and performance. Which, again, seemed like kind of objective for whatever they're going for.
I mean, I don't care if they dropped her because she's a woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're basically back to the frickin' cake thing again, where, do private entities, do private companies have the right to say no to anybody for any reason?
Yeah, well, I mean, ostensibly, the person they hired for this photograph was going to be on their advertisements. So they were going to be representing their company. So they can pick whoever they want. I don't really care.
Yeah. But then there's a bit of just a soliloquy on, it is such a complex topic to try to unravel when you are playing around with gender.
Yeah, I mean, it's far too nuanced for me to explain it to you because I have to make it up on the spot.
But it's non-fluid, man. Or I'm sorry, it is fluid. I fucked it up. I'm so used to.
It's non-binary, but it's fluid. And no, it's not. It's binary and not fluid.
Oh, fuck me. A lot of different people are part of the drag community: transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, and it is not as simple as saying you just want 5 male drag queens. What is the acronym up to this point? Is it 15 things long? Is there a K or a plus, or what are we at this point? Do you know?
Well, from my understanding, they're actually going to start losing a few letters if they keep going at this. So, I mean, the way that this woman would like things to be portrayed, right, is that she's a woman in what you would call a predominantly male profession. And, she's the victim of discrimination. But the fact of the matter is that if you go by their progressive stack, the profession is mainly gay males. There are straight male drag queens, but for the most part, gay males. And there's a lot of diversity in that community. So, they fit higher on the progressive stack than she does. She's actually the oppressor, according to their logic. So,
okay.
I mean, there have been a lot of gays and lesbians that have been pissed off lately because of the quote unquote community attacking them.
This paragraph irritated me too. Sexist language and behavior is so ingrained in our society that we no longer see it. It is in everything, and it has happened to me in 2018 in a liberal country. When you take away the drag, I was dropped from a job because I was a woman. Fuck right off. This is that damn infamous Anita Sarkeesian clip where everything is sexist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out. It's like, oh, fuck off. If everything was that, you wouldn't have been able to give that speech. Urgh.
Yeah, well, if everything is racist and sexist, then nothing is racist and sexist.
Yeah, and not only that, but the implication, and you tell me if I'm reading too far into this or I'm straw manning her, but the implication there is basically, everything is sexist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out because it's a bunch of people, it's a bunch of straight white males who are in power and are doing all the bigotry. But if everything is sexist, everything is homophobic, blah, 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 then white males would suffer from it too. I don't know. But again, we can't because we're not allowed. That's just word salad, vomit nonsense.
It should just be seen for what it is. She's pissed off because she didn't get a job, and she probably grew up in the everyone gets a trophy generation, and that's all it is.
I think I still have ribbons from when I swam as a kid.
I don't think that's the same, but okay.
No, all I'm saying is that, well, no, I'm saying none of them were first place. They were like participation. That was my point for bringing it up. But yeah. Jesus. Yeah, but I don't have any of them with me anymore. They're all in a basement somewhere, I think. Hopefully they'll stay there or end up in a dumpster. Doesn't matter to me. But yeah, so we got drag queens complaining because they're being discriminated against because my feels, whammon, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's not even drag queens.
It's drag kings. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right. So we're going to round out today with the big story. Man says ghost planted meth on him after he was attacked with axe. Because that seems like a normal Saturday or Wednesday. I was
really hoping Ghastly would be here so that he could chime in and tell us what he was up to.
Oh, he told the guy took a hit of meth. He shows up and says, "All hail Blue Whale." Attacks him with an axe, and then the guy calls the cops. But anyway, authorities say they arrested an Ouachita Parish man on drug and false reporting charges after he told them quite a story, possibly involving a ghost. Looking at you, Ghastly. The Ouachita Parish Sheriff's Office says they responded to a home on Lynette Drive in the West Monroe area after getting a call from a man who said he had been attacked with an axe. The man claimed someone, quote, stabbed him in the head with a bladed weapon. When deputies arrived, they found the caller, Michael L. Ottenberry, at his front door cursing at people who were, quote, obviously not there. Deputies say the man was not calm and cursing at them too, so they placed him in handcuffs for their safety. Upon looking Ottenberry over, they say they found no indication that he'd actually been hit in the head with an axe. According to the arrest records, Ottenberry also told deputies that intruders were inside his home. The call is coming from inside the house. They went inside, but they say they couldn't find any intruders. What they did find, however, was a small bag of meth in plain view on a nightstand. They say they also found a gram of meth on Ottenberry. When asked about the meth, deputies say Ottenberry... Wait, they put an F in there in that one. That's a typo, or am I nuts?
Yeah, that's got to be a typo.
Ottenberry told
Verify.
them... Yeah, verify. Told them that intruders or a ghost planted the meth. Ottenberry is charged with giving a false police report and possession of a controlled dangerous substance. Nah, doesn't look like a meth head at all. Nope. Seems like he's got a well-balanced, well-adjusted life full of things to do, places to be, people to see.
He looks like Chaggett's dad.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I didn't even think about that till now, but he does. Hello, Amy Petrova. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot to say about this. It kind of speaks for itself. I mean, the guy was clearly methed out of his mind, thought he saw a ghost with an axe, called the cops, and then say the ghost planted there.
Yeah, the ghost planted the meth on me.
Yeah. But, yeah, oh, God, now I can't unsee Chaggett. Damn it. That's funny. We may have to tweet that out with this article. Chaggett's dead.
Definitely.
Oh, and he does meth too. Oh, it even works on a meta level.
That was the joke.
I was going by looks, not the meth. Oh, that's funny. I'm like, oh, he does look like an older Chaggett. And then I'm like, wait, he also did meth. Shit. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I bet you he was doing meth to escape the Kavanaugh ruling.
That was probably it.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Even notice the link underneath. Kavanaugh SCOTUS hearing shifting the Me Too movement. Well, maybe. It's all connected. It's all intertwined.
There we go. We've gone full circle.
Yep. I've got my cork board. I got my red thumbtacks. I got my string. Let's do it. All right. We're going to finish up with requested picture. I've got a GIF of the famous man from Hurricane, was it Irma? No. It was, it was an old lady's name. Shit.
Florence?
Florence, thank you. From Hurricane Florence. Here's the GIF of, I think he's been dubbed Florida Man.
Yeah, he is most definitely Florida Man.
So there he is on the screen for your amusement. I almost said amusement. But yeah, that was basically the week in news. While I remember it, we do have a Streamlabs, so if you like the show and would like to drop a coin in the hat, you may do so. It is in the description. We will be back same time next week on the 13th, 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. I want to thank everybody who stopped by. Let's go through it. Ortiz, Tater, Miss Stabbers, Amy Petrova, Chop Top Nada, John Doe, Sengear, Viable Ninja. My goodness. Probably missed somebody. Taco Stanzia, Fire Mistress Human Resources, The Everyday Man, Ariana, and missed anybody else I missed. I think that was pretty much it. Did I miss anybody?
Ariana?
Oh, thank you for Fuckwad. Thank you for Ariana. I always forget Fuckwad. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm such a jerk. But, yeah. I think it was a good show. What do you think, Jabbers?
It was a good week. It really was.
Yeah, it was a hell of a week.
Next week is probably going to be great because I'm starting to hear riots. So next week is probably going to be great.
Yeah, probably going to have some dumpster fires. Hopefully with whales not in them, like last week. But, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. See you in the next one. Bye-o.
Yep. Bye, everybody.
Closing time. Open all the doors out and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing time. One last call for alcohol, so finish your whiskey or beer. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I know I wanna take me home. I know I wanna take me home. I know I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. So gather up your jackets, move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes with some other beginnings, and yeah, I know I wanna take me home. I know I wanna take me home. I know I know